The Indian Navy will soon get a brand new aircraft carrier, which according to reports will be bigger, more powerful and capable of carrying more fighter jets than INS Vikrant. This news report in defense.in suggests the new aircraft carrier or IAC-2 is now being planned as a direct replacement for INS Vikramaditya, which was commissioned from Russia in 2013. The report also adds that the Indian government has overruled the Indian Navy's desire for 3 aircraft carriers for now. Instead, INS Vikramaditya will be phased out by 2038 and its service extension will not be sought. What's more, while the new indigenous aircraft carrier was initially expected to be a sister ship of INS Vikrant, now the Defense Ministry is instead focusing on building a larger warship. INS Vikrant has a displacement of 45,000 tons. The IAC-2 is now being envisioned in the 65,000 ton category. This would make it similar to Chinese carriers Liaoning and Shandong, while the latest one, Fujian, is an 80,000 ton beast. However, while India's INS Vikrant is capable of carrying up to 30 fighter jets, the Chinese Liaoning and Shandong can reportedly only carry 24 J-15 fighter jets each. The capacity difference could be down to design features or the size of the fighter jets or a priority to other systems on board. The desire to build a bigger indigenous aircraft carrier than INS Vikrant showcases the government's desire to position India at the forefront of military technology and defense manufacturing industry. However, having only 2 carriers instead of 3 carriers does have its limitations. Having 3 aircraft carriers would have allowed simultaneous operations of 2 on the eastern and the western seaboards, one in the Bay of Bengal and the other one in the Arabian Sea, while the third one remains in maintenance and overhaul. So is India abandoning plans for 3 or more aircraft carriers? Well, not quite. The plan instead seems to be to reduce dependence on foreign systems and instead build world-class platforms under Make in India initiative. In May last year, Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh boldly announced plans for the Indian Navy to have one of the biggest aircraft carrier fleets in the world. Rajnath Singh had declared, quote, "We will not stop at 3 carriers. We will go on to make 5, 6 and more," unquote. So the government seems to have abandoned plans for a relatively smaller carrier like INS Vikrant or INS Vikramaditya at 44,000 tons and instead have now set sights on 65,000 ton class Titans to project India's power. Larger carriers can not only carry more fighter jets each but also have better defense capabilities in terms of air defense systems and anti-submarine systems, enabling total domination of the theatre. In 2023, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Defense had suggested for the need of having a third seagoing aircraft carrier. It said, and I quote, "The reach and flexibility of a carrier is far superior to military airfields in far-flung island territories," unquote. So can we expect IAC-2 to be followed up with 1 or 2 more carriers of the same 65,000 ton category? The new Indian aircraft carrier could also feature the latest technological advances like the electromagnetic aircraft launch system, something that only the most advanced US aircraft carriers have perfected so far. Meanwhile, in a sign of China's increasingly expansionist ambitions and desire to be battle-ready, Beijing is actively boosting its aircraft carrier fleet. The PLAN is planning on having 5 to 6 carriers by 2030-35, according to a report published by the US Department of Defense in 2021. Liaoning and Shandong were commissioned in 2012 and 2019 respectively, while the 80,000-ton Fujian headed for sea trials last year. Now, Fujian is the first carrier to be equipped with electromagnetic catapults, similar to the technology the US carriers used to launch their fighter jets. According to reports, China is reportedly planning to station one of its carrier battle groups in the Indian Ocean permanently. However, that remains to be seen. Meanwhile, amid growing security threats in the Indian Ocean and the hotly contested South China Sea, the nuclear submarine arms race is also intensifying. The third indigenous nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, or SSBN, INS Aridhaman, will be commissioned later this year after nearly 3 years of trials. Based on similar design that of INS Arihant and INS Arighat, it has retained the 83 megawatt nuclear reactor. However, it has incorporated several technical upgrades based on operational feedback. INS Aridhaman can accommodate up to 4 K-4 missiles each, which have a range of 3,500 kilometers. This naval version of the Agni-3 IRBM will bolster the sea leg of the Indian nuclear triad. Thus, it could target large parts of China from the Bay of Bengal or from the Pacific Ocean if needed. Moreover, another 40,000 crore rupee project to construct 2 nuclear-powered attack submarines or SSNs is in the pipeline. The nuclear-powered submarines are seen as essential for the Indian Navy to patrol the vast reaches of the Indian Ocean to guard against Chinese or Pakistani threats. For example, an Indian nuclear submarine can be stationed near Karachi indefinitely without the need to surface like conventional submarines or even AIP submarines, thus giving India a huge tactical advantage. Indigenous nuclear submarines and aircraft carriers can transform the Indian Navy into a true blue water force, capable of projecting power in any part of the world. So should India build more aircraft carriers or nuclear submarines? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.